How live, we're live, we're live, we're live. We're live like never before. All alone, skibby-dibby-doo. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Good morning. Welcome everybody. February is over. January, today is March 1st. March 1st in the year 2023. It looks like spring may have sprung. Boing, boing, ba-boing, ba-ba-boing, gang, gang, gang. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the show. Today is March 1st. March 1st. It's almost spring. There's sun in the air. It's still cold, cold like a mofo here. 27 degrees outside, but sunny. The spring is sprung. Spring is sprung. You got to wish me a happy birthday. Today is my birthday, Maurice Conde. Oh, my God. My birthday is actually February 29, but there is no 29th day in February this year. It only happens every 4 years. So officially today, March 1st, is my birthday. I don't feel any different. You know, you can say happy birthday all you want. But it's just another day. It's just another day in your life. Are you happy with your life? Are you content? Are you feeling good about yourself? Are you feeling uplifted? How's your physical condition? Are you taking care of yourself? Because you know what? Guaranteed. Is anybody guaranteed another year, another hour, another minute? Not really. Death happens. Death comes without warning. Death comes without warning. All of a sudden, pow! You're just dead. Right? That's how death comes. Death doesn't tell you, "Oh, I'm coming for you." It just happens. You just stop. You just stop breathing, right? And then what? Right? You ever think about that? What happens after you stop breathing? Where do you go? The body, it seems, goes back to the earth. You could either burn it and send it into the sky. You could just leave it right where it is, and eventually it'll rot away. You could bury it in the ground, feed the worms. But where does the rest of it go? Where does this thing we call consciousness really go? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And nobody's guaranteed that they'll ever know. Does anybody really know what it's like to die? No, because nobody has ever died. No living person has ever died. I hadn't talked about it. At least if you're excluding religious beliefs. No one that we know, and let's make it a softer approach. There's nobody that we know, no living person that we know that has died. I mean, really died, rotted away and gone, or incinerated in a crematorium. And then suddenly is back to say, "Oh no, that was all a big mistake. It didn't happen. I came back." So death is I guess a mystery, and there's no guarantee of life. It appears that we recycle. It does appear that way. When you look closely at the nature of reality, it seems like we recycle back into the matrix, for lack of a better term. Right? So anyway, thank you for joining me today. Today we'll talk about an interesting study on vaping. Vaping was supposed to be the big savior, right? It's supposed to save everybody from smoking. And I want to talk about the toxic air in East Palestine, Ohio, for the first time. I didn't really talk about it. And is that leak causing bigger problems in the area? And is there a chemical plum messing with everybody else? Probably. I think it's inescapable when 36 trains full of chemicals flips over and goes on fire. The chemicals have to go somewhere. They have to redistribute back into the environment. It would be ignorant to say that they don't. No, it went up in smoke, man. The smoke is just, it disappeared. You live we live in a bubble. People need to understand that about Earth. Earth is an environmental bubble. And usually what happens in the bubble stays in the bubble. Yeah. Arguably, some things will leave the atmosphere. The Earth will cleanse itself by ridding itself of toxins through its own atmosphere, over millions of years or billions of years. But the reality is, in our lifetime, if we, create a bad, chemical plum, we have to live with it at least for the rest of our lives. Look at, for example, nuclear waste like Chernobyl. It's inescapable. Right? You're going to detect those chemicals for centuries, if not for a billion years. So, and Lori Lightfoot, you remember the racist mayor from Chicago? Everything is about race. I'm black. They don't like me. I'm a lesbian. They hate me. And that's why they won't vote for me. Well, she lost. She only got 16% of the vote in Chicago. She's out. Lori Lightfoot, the racist mayor from Chicago, is gone. And who's going to replace her? Well, there's going to be a runoff because nobody got the 50%. So they're going to have a runoff between two candidates. We'll look at that story. I don't know the details of it. Ghislaine Maxwell. What else we got here? Yeah, air and pollution. And hold on a second. I got something else. Lori Lightfoot. Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell has filed for an appeal in her sex trafficking conviction to remind everybody, or maybe inform you for the first time. Ghislaine Maxwell is no longer trapped in a death chamber in Brooklyn, New York, going back and forth to trial where they shit in her food and torture her. She's now in a cozy-ish, low security, minimum security prison in Florida, where she's probably, taking the sun all winter long. Low security means that she's probably outside. There's a ball field and a little fence around it. She walks in the grass. She gets involved in some lesbian love, maybe. Lesbian triangle. But she's trying to get out completely. Her lawyers, remember, Ghislaine Maxwell comes from a lot of money. And the family's not quitting. They're trying to say that the trial in New York was is debunked, was a kangaroo court, that she was only being tried because Jeffrey Epstein died and they couldn't get him, so they came after her, which is legitimate. Also, one of the jurors' case seems to be flawed. One of the jurors in the Ghislaine Maxwell case, when was interviewed, never told the powers that be that he had been sexually abused as a child. Now, that would have been a disclaimer. That would have been a disqualifier if he would have said that. And it turns out that he said it to the press after the conviction was codified. So Ghislaine Maxwell fighting for her freedom. And a big story, JFK assassin Sirhan is going to return for the 16th parole, for his 16th parole hearing. Sirhan is the gentleman from Jordan who shot and killed Robert F. Kennedy prior to the 1968, after his victory in California, I believe. He won the California primary to become president of the United States. RFK was on track to become the next president of the United States. Probably would have beat Richard Nixon if it hadn't been for Sirhan killing him. But should we concede 50 years later? Should we forgive 50 years later? Now, Sirhan has been in jail. He was 24 years old at the time. He was in jail for 50 years. It's 50 years ago. And it's actually 60 years ago. right? It's 60 years ago. Right? 1960, what was it, 68, 78, 88, 98, 2008, 2018. That's 50 years ago. 18. It's about. I can't add right now. It's about 55 years ago. Should we forgive Sirhan, who should have gotten a death penalty if not for California changing the rules at the last minute? Should have been dead by death penalty. Still alive, still breathing, still living in the state of California. Should we let him go? He claims that he's totally, rejuvenated. He's been reformed. He's been fixed. The criminal justice system has fixed Sirhan, says a parole board. And the good Gavin Newsom, the maybe not so good Gavin Newsom, governor of California, has said, no, we're not letting him out. We're not letting him out. He's never getting out. He ain't getting out of here. So there you have it, right? So thank you everybody for joining me. Mark Escante reporting. Welcome everybody in the chat. Vinny DiMartini. Hope Vinny feels better. And he's reporting that he's not feeling so good. We're with you, brother. Get out there and exercise, man. You know what you got to do. Thank you for the birthday wishes, Jim Gerard, Andy Garcia, Casaphilly Camden, Mad Cow Mark Wayne says, I enjoyed yesterday's meditation video so much I watched it again this morning. Well, thank you, Wayne. We're trying, We're trying hard. We're trying hard to bring people to it. Champs, what's up, man? What's up, everybody? And it does seem, I got to tell you, it does seem that that the meditation on Tuesdays tends to attract some, the LARPers. Remember the LARPers? The first week got whacked by the LARPers. Then yesterday morning, a series of LARPers, I guess, one LARPer jumped onto the thread. We had to shut him down. Right. Again, if you're watching and you're a proponent of free speech, I commend you. I give you a hand for pointing out free speech and lack of censorship, right? And someone yesterday wanted to accuse this reporter of censoring them. Let me clarify, right? To hear me out. Right? Censorship, it's not censorship to shut somebody out of a live chat because they're infiltrating the chat with what I appear and everybody else appears to see as garbage. You're just rattling off nonsense after nonsense, and you clog up the chat where people can no longer communicate, effortlessly. They're not able to speak. That's called being a dick. Right? You're being a dick. You're trying to pull all of the attention towards you and away from the subject matter, the things that people are discussing, the thing that the talking head in front of you is talking about. Right? That's generally polite. So if you get kicked out of a situation like that for being a dick, that's not censorship. That's being bounced out of a bar. You're unruly. You're still allowed in the bar. You're just being a dick. You got to go home and cool off, right? And then come back and respect the people around you. So that's all I want to say about that. That's not censorship. So anyway, so I have a website. My name is Marcus Conte. Every morning live, 9 a.m. We're here. No notification necessary, just 9 a.m. Join us. The chat is always open to anybody who respects the non-dickery rule. And again, I don't know what that is. That's why we got the wrenches. That's why we have wrenches. Wrenches keep an eye on that for us. Tuesday Dharma Gathering is a meditation training, 90 days meditation training for anybody who thinks that they might benefit from that. It is my opinion that everybody who encounters that will, in fact, benefit from it. All you got to do is try. You got to sit down and do it. And so join us. Ways to support the program. Zelle, the great Zelle, is a banking way of paying for shit. All right, so if you like this program and you're engaging the meditation, it's recommended not by me but by the Buddha and the Buddhas for the last 2,500 years that you offer something. It's called dana, D-A-N-A. Support, right? And it's also a statement for yourself that you're making this you're making this effort, but you're also giving something to the cause. It could be $1. And if you're really rich, we're looking for that billionaire. I'm still in search of a billionaire. One billionaire could change this program for the better, right? Do an experiment, right? And again, like I said, I'll be your friend. I will be your spiritual advisor. Whoa, that's what I am, spiritual advisor. So if there's a billionaire out there and you're watching the program and you benefit from the 90-day meditation challenge, hold off. You want to keep, I know money's very tight and money is money. You don't give away money. I get it, billionaire. But if you're watching the program and after 90 days you see the benefit from the meditation, you should then consider donating largely to the program, and you will have created not only good karma and good influence on others, but you'll have a friend that can help you even more, give you some one-on-one. So definitely do that, right? Money is power, right? You want to be powerful, you want to have money. Well, it's a good way to use it, right? So let's start here. So vaping is not smoking, by the way. No. Vaping is it's inhaling fumes, some sort of gas, or some sort of vaporization of the product that you're vaporizing. It's not smoke. It's not smoke. Don't say smoke. So vaping nicotine and THC may increase depression, anxiety in young adults. So you see it all the time. See young people, they love it. They love, I don't smoke, I vape. You say, what are you guys smoking over there? I said, no, man, we haven't smoked in years. Well, what's all that shit coming out your mouth, man? Pouring out your lungs. Oh, this is a vape, man. People vape indoors now, too. You see them walking around like in a mall or in a movie theater. You see a little cloud of fucking poof. People are smoking again. But it's vape. It's not smoke, it's vape. When you concentrate, right? I don't know, man. Fucking hallucinogenic vape. That's what that shit is, man. You see kids strung out on pens, right? They like that vape pen. Vape pen. I would say only this about vaporization of products. There's an extra process in there, and there's also other ingredients. When one burns an organic product like marijuana flower or tobacco that's grown the proper way without being sprayed with chemicals, that is a direct influence of the plant. You're burning it, and then you're consuming it in that fashion. But when you're vaping things, you're doing two steps. You're extracting, and then you're doing some kind of voodoo, and then creating the smoke. So it's one less process, right? The less processing, the better. Right? And but here's the study. I guess we already knew it, but let's find out. New study led by the American Heart Association has linked vaping nicotine and THC, the psychoactive component in marijuana, to depression and anxiety symptoms in teens and young adults. Younger people have long been vulnerable to tobacco use. Well, that's true. The findings from the survey of more than 2,500 teens and young adults follow recent reports that marijuana usage is skyrocketing. Well, are we talking about marijuana use or are we talking about e-vaping? Because they're different. Marijuana is cannabis, smoking, right? Am I wrong to say that? If it's no longer when you when you vaporize something and you put it into a fancy electronic cigarette, is that still marijuana, or is it vape laced? Is it marijuana laced vape? Right, it's something. It seems to become a secondary product. All right. And what about edibles? What about but anyway, so, or, vaporizing nicotine, vaporizing a cigarette. I don't know. E-cigarette devices are still relatively new compared to other tobacco products, such as combustible cigarettes and pipes. So more research is needed. In the online survey, 2,500 teens and young adults aged 13 to 24 answered questions about their vaping. You see this all the time, like clouds of fucking thick. It's thick smoke that you even see it. Like when you smoke, when you see someone exhale something that was on fire, like a cigarette or a joint or a pipe, it looks different than the vape. Vape has this kind of thick, fucking toxic cloud look about it, doesn't it? Have you ever noticed that about vaping? All right, here's the research, and then we'll move on. Researchers compared answers between THC-only vapors. Look, the result of the finding is that they say that vaping is a great escape, just like smoking is too. It's no different. In fact, they're finding that people get more anxiety-ridden and depressed by vaping. So maybe because it's thought of as safe. There's people that believe that, They believe that, it's vape, it's not smoke, so it's healthy. It's like when cigarettes first came out, they said, tobacco's good for you. It's good for you. Don't worry about it. And then we found out all the problems with it. But they're saying the same thing about vape, sort of. It's less on the lungs because it's not smoke, it's vape. So I'll keep following that. So on the note of taking care of your lungs, toxic air in East Palestine may pose long-term risks, researchers find, despite EPA claim of no health concern. So in Palestine, Ohio, there was a train wreck, 36 trains piled up, not carrying people. These were not passenger trains, but they were loaded with toxic chemicals and created mushroom clouds as far as, I don't know, hundreds of miles away. Mushroom clouds, chemicals that seep into the ground and don't go away for 1 million years. So an independent analysis of Environmental Protection Agency data from the Ohio train derailment site found that many of the toxic chemicals detected could pose long-term health risks if they continue at current levels. Well, there's no way. There's two ways of going about it. Sometimes you say, well, why is the chemical still burning? Well, that's common. That's normal behavior. What you do when chemicals are on fire, for example, in the 9/11 situation where things were burning, you don't necessarily want to go there and put the fire out, because then you have to deal with the chemical that is still there in the ground. It's actually better to let it burn out. Just get people away from it, let it burn out until it stops burning. And then it's not, technically the raw materials are not there anymore. They've burned away. You could do that, or you could just let it seep into the ground and pollute everything below it. All right, the ground soaks it up. Somewhere along the line, the toxin is going to get soaked up. But I would also say that those same chemicals created, right? We only see it as a problem because it blew up in the same place. But those chemicals were en route to be released anyway into the environment. The chemicals are created to be used by humans in some capacity. And once used, will create not as concentrated of a problem, but definitely the same problem. Where do you think these chemicals were going? Where do you think they were going? They were leaving the atmosphere. They were created, and then they're going to get tossed out into the somewhere else. No. They're just being used for whatever it is they were created to be used for. But here we have a mushroom cloud of all of it burning at once. I guess the solution to that is do we really need all these chemicals that are being burned? Probably, or probably not. What do I know? I don't know. But anyway, so scientists from Texas measurements of air studied the measurements of air pollutants collected by the EPA and said 9 of the pollutants were at higher than normal levels. So the big dispute here is that there's a lot of chemicals being tossed into the environment. What kind of chemicals are they? What kind of chemicals? So the agency tested the air quality of 578 homes in East Palestine and found no areas of alarm. So your government is saying no problem here. There's nothing to worry about. What are you worried about? What are you worried about? It's just a little leak. We got it. We got this shit under control, man. There's no problem. So the EPA is saying there's no problem here, and I think the people of Ohio should stop complaining that that there's still it's still burning somewhat. Let it burn out. That's to your advantage. Just like 9/11, let that shit burn away. Some more pictures. Yeah, it's a big black plum cloud. Ugly, right? It's an ugly black plum cloud. I don't know. Do you want it to diffuse into the air, or do you want it to stay concentrated in the ground? I don't know. It's a choice, I guess. And of course, a lot of creatures, a lot of people, creatures in the water. Anybody that uses this water is screwed. Devastating. Look at that plum. Look at that plum cloud. That's chemical. I mean, listen. If you're in this car, see the car down here, driving away from the plum, I think you're less at risk than sticking your head into the plum cloud itself and inhaling, going, the smell of plum. Why don't you bag it up and sell it to teenagers? They like to, inhale chemicals, right? Like to inhale chemicals. Right? You can make vape out of it. So I don't know what the solution is. I know there's theories online about people speculating that this was espionage. It was espionage. The Russians, they blew up our fucking trains, man. It was the Arabs. They're back. The Arabs, the Muslims, they're back. It's the Black Power people, man. It's those white supremacists, man. They want to smoke us out. I don't know about any of that. All I know is, you look at the carnage and say, what can you do about it? If you don't want it to blow up like this or ever happen again, maybe you could consider distributing less of it at a time. How about that? Has that ever occurred to you? Yeah. Instead of putting 36 trains loaded with toxic chemicals that if they blow up, they're going to cause an environmental problem, why don't you just dilute it and put 1 per train maybe? And then you wouldn't be dealing with such a negative consequence. And again, the national transportation. What happened here? So this happened. The train operated by Norfolk Southern had been carrying chemicals and combustible materials, with vinyl chloride, a toxic flammable gas, being of most concern. So vinyl chloride, 38 cars derailed, and another 12 were damaged. So a total of 50 cars were smoked. So we'll keep following that. So here's the good news. The good news over there in the great state of Illinois. Chicago Democrat Lori Lightfoot on Tuesday became the Windy City's first incumbent mayor in 40 years to lose re-election as rising crime in the city steered voters away from the embattled leader. Now, we know who she is, Lori Lightfoot. She's routinely in the news for casting her black racist opinions on everybody else, kissing her darling lesbian white lover, Amy Eshelman, she married a white Jew. Lori Lightfoot, the hater of whites, right, the lover of black, married a white lesbian Jew. Shit is crazy, man. People are confused, man. It's just a confused fucking people, right? And she had the balls to say that she lost because them's people over there, they don't like black women. They don't like black women in charge of anything. Is that me saying it? No, here she is. Lori Lightfoot ripped for playing race gender cards ahead of elections, right? What did she say? So, I am a black woman, she said, quote. This is Lori Lightfoot right before the election. This is how she wanted to win the election. I am a black woman. Let's not forget that, she told the outlet. Certain folks, don't support us in leadership roles, she said. So her view, meanwhile, in Chicago, people are shooting and killing each other. Crime is through the roof in Chicago. And it's not a racist issue. Here's Eric Adams, mayor of New York. Love Eric Adams, man. Eric Adams is a real guy, right? He's a little, shallow. He spent 20 years as an NYPD captain. That's kind of like finishing school. He's, programmed and such. But as his view widens, I believe, I think he'll become better and better at the job. You got to give him a little learning curve. There is a learning curve to being mayor. Mike Bloomberg sucked when he first became mayor of New York, and then by the second term and third term, he was really good. And Giuliani was very good right from the get-go. But you got to give Eric Adams kudos. He's doing fine. But his counterpart, the black woman, is trying to make the race card out of it, play the race card. So she lost. She's gone. This is the last time you got to look at Lori Lightfoot in Chicago. She is out. So how bad did she lose? Violent crime has escalated 61% in the state. I want to look at the results. She got blown out. She came in third place. Third. Where's the results? Can I get the results, please? Lori Lightfoot loses the election. Oh, here it is. So Valez. So it's right. It's the second paragraph, Conti. So she received only 16.4% of the vote, behind the leader, Valez, who took 35% of the vote, and Johnson, who took 20% of the vote. So she got blown out. Now, Valez, that's his name, Vallas, white guy. One of the, and the other irony of the Lori Lightfoot racist comment is that 8 out of 9 of the people that were running were all black. They were all black. 8 out of 9 blacks, right? And the white guy won. Well, at least he got the most votes so far. You got to get to 50%. Without 50%, they have a runoff. So Lori Lightfoot got 16%. She's done, out. No recount for Lori. Goodbye. She already conceded. She said, I will be rooting and praying for our next mayor. So she's gone. There's a concession. And Velez got 35. So it's going to be between Velez and Johnson in the great state of Illinois, great city of Chicago, for next mayor. Congratulations, Chicago. You got rid of Lori Lightfoot. Who cares about that bitch? Goodbye. Don't let the door hit you in the ass, Lori. So Ghislaine Maxwell appeals sex trafficking conviction over fatal errors. I find it a little disturbing that we're the New York Post. When I go to Ghislaine Maxwell's sex trafficking, why do I have an image? Why do I have a video running of Andrea, the 14-year-old girl, Andrea Koch, being violently attacked? Those two things have nothing in common, but they're being presented on the same page, New York Post. Anyway, so convicted sex predator, and she is, Ghislaine Maxwell, formally appealed her sex trafficking conviction Tuesday, arguing prosecutors and the judge made a series of fatal errors during her case in Manhattan federal court. Well, so what are the fatal errors? Maxwell's attorney said in a statement Tuesday that the Justice Department used her as a proxy for Jeffrey Epstein to, quote, satisfy public outrage over the case in the aftermath of his sudden in-custody death. Is that true? Ghislaine Maxwell, the proxy and or the scapegoat, was she prosecuted to satisfy the hungry, women that claimed, kids that claimed that they were raped when kids? They were raped against they didn't give consent. Probably, yeah. If not for Epstein, would there be a Ghislaine Maxwell case? Probably not. That's a good argument. It is a good argument. What else? A Manhattan federal judge, jury, a Manhattan federal court jury convicted Maxwell on 5 of 6 counts in December 2021, including sex trafficking of minors, for helping pedophile Jeffrey Epstein groom girls and women for him to abuse. She was sentenced to 20 years in prison, June in 2022. There she is. There's her jailhouse mugshot. And as I said, she's not in Brooklyn lockup anymore, in the kangaroo court that is Brooklyn lockup, MCC or whatever it is. She's now down in the great state of Florida, living it up in a minimum security prison in Florida, again, where the weather is beautiful. And she has access to that weather, which is, listen, she's the daughter of very, very wealthy, influential people. Putting her in a box is torture, but maybe laying out on the lawn, she knows how to kill time. That's what rich people do, man. They know how to kill time. They pull out a blanket, a beach chair, right? And they checking out the lesbian next to them, right? Oh man, I'm sort of a lesbian. I'm going to be here for 20 years, so I might as well be a lesbian. She's getting involved with some jailhouse lesbian love while she's waiting for her new trial. She's living large, right? She's living large. This is how we. This was her fate. This was her fate. Now, I would speculate that if she was really, really a bad criminal, really bad, they would have left her in the federal lockup in Brooklyn and watched her kill herself. But instead, they moved her down to a minimum security prison. And she's fighting the other argument, and here's one of the alleged victims, or the now confirmed victim, saying that what was the other thing? Jury. Oh yeah, the juror. One of the jurors in the case said that he had, when asked, has anybody ever been involved in sexual assault? Has anybody ever been molested as a child? And one of the jurors answered no. They all answered no. And if they answered yes, they wouldn't be a juror. They would have been disqualified. But one of them did, in fact, get molested or claims to have been molested as a kid. And then after the trial went on ABC, but didn't say that when in jury selection, didn't say that. Said no, answered no. So the juror gave a false statement. That is, that is a disqualifier in a sense. Is it a fair trial? No. He didn't. I don't know. Why don't they, run a background on the jury. Or is that uncool? I don't know. But anyway, the juror definitely went right out the door after the trial was over, and went on fake news and told them about it. So yeah, I was sexually abused as a kid, and I'm glad to see Ghislaine Maxwell go away forever. So Maxwell, 61, is serving her sentence in federal prison in Florida, a low-security lockup in Tallahassee. All right, an oral argument hearing for the appeal has not yet been set. So she'll keep fighting. She'll keep fighting. Will she win? Probably not. But she's I don't know. She's not winning. She's certainly not winning, but she did win. Getting out of that lockup was a big deal. Now she's in minimum security. Country club. RFK. You remember Robert Kennedy? Robert Kennedy, right? Was killed by this guy, Sirhan. Remember that name? Look at the decor. Look at the costumes. Look how the cops all slick back hair and cut hair. And this guy looks like a guy right out of the 50s. Comb back, gray hair. He's got the thick frames. I don't know. They just look like the 60s, And there's Sirhan after he shot Robert Kennedy. Right. Why did he shoot Robert Kennedy? Well, Robert Kennedy was running for president in the great state of in the United States, but he was I'll read and I'll let the Post tell you who he is. Nearly 2 years ago, a California parole board voted to free Robert F. Kennedy's assassin, but the decision was later overturned by the governor. And that's Gavin Newsom in California. Sirhan will once again appear before the board Wednesday at a hearing at federal prison in San Diego County to ask to be let out. So 2 years ago, let's get the facts straight. 2 years ago, a board of parole in California agreed that Sirhan should be let out of jail. And Gavin Newsom, who's an RFK supporter, whatever that means, we're all RFK supporters. Why does Gavin Newsom get a front seat in RFK sympathy? The guy was the president. He was the brother of a assassined president who was out of the public eye for 3 years, fucking overcoming the murder of his brother, and then returned to run for president, right? And was killed in that run. Right? He was a great American, so I don't understand why Gavin Newsom thinks, oh, no, I'm closer to Robert F. Kennedy than you are. No, you're not. No, you're not. We're all very close to him. So on Wednesday, that's today, Sirhan will go in front of a board again. Even if the board rules that Sirhan is suitable for release a second time, she does not expect it to change Gavin Newsom's mind because of his, quote, affinity for R.F. Kennedy, who Newsom cites as a political hero. Well, he is a political hero. That's why she said she's also turning to the courts. Legally, it's a tough call because the parole board, who are generally ruthless people that don't give a shit about anybody, right? After 55 years of Sirhan taking up space in a jail, they finally said, let him out already. Get him, let him go, man. The guy was a 24-year-old. Let him out. He's no danger, they say. Also, he was from Jordan. I don't know if we really remember that, him being from Jordan. There's talk of extradition to Jordan. After 50 years, you're going to extradite a guy? You might as well kill him. How is a convicted criminal in the United States with absolutely no survival skills at all going to go to Jordan, where he hasn't been in 50 years, where everything is absolutely and totally and unequivocally different, how is he going to survive in Jordan? I doubt it. I would imagine all his relatives are dead or don't want any part of him. They probably don't even know what happened to him. Sirhan, well, what happened to him? He's the guy who killed an American president? Fuck you. They'll kill him. He'll step foot in Jordan and they'll kill him. So anyway, there he is. He again. I might have been misleading in the headline, but Sirhan is not being freed, but he is, according to the parole board 2 years ago, and what's likely to be another confirmation of that parole board today. He is a free man, right? And Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, is standing in the way of that. So I don't know. That's Robert Kennedy. We all remember it in California. He was shot in cold blood. What about JFK Jr.? You remember John F. Kennedy Jr.'s kid? He, and people don't really realize this, but he is a member of the Clinton body bag. Yes. The Clinton body bag. Clinton body bag, right? John F. Kennedy Jr. Was also running for political office. He was running for a senator of the great state of New York. And he was up in a private plane with his girlfriend, and the plane suddenly did a nosedive. He was flying the plane. He wasn't just a passenger. He was John F. Kennedy Jr., the son of the president, the deceased president, was running for governor of New York. He was flying his own plane. He was a competent pilot with his girlfriend on his side. And the plane did a nosedive and blew up. And Hillary Clinton became the senator from New York in absence of John F. Kennedy Jr. So if you want to hold Sirhan responsible for the overt killing of Robert F. Kennedy, you got to also hold Hillary Clinton responsible for the killing of JFK Jr. Now, we didn't see the smoking gun in Hillary Clinton's hand, but man, is there a trail of dead bodies, following the Clintons, man. Wherever they go, people die. Oh, you worked for the Clintons? Your life is almost over, man. You better take cover. What did you do for the Clintons? Oh, I shuffled their papers. Oh, you touched the Clintons' papers, you're dead, man. They're gonna kill you, man. You're gonna be lifting weights one day, and the weight is gonna fall on your neck and kill you, and everyone's gonna think it was suicide or an accident. There's probably the last view of what an image. Look at this. One of the last images of Robert F. Kennedy, as maybe he's already dead, eyes wide open. I just got shot. So I don't know. I don't know what people think. The family of Robert F. Kennedy, Ethel, and 6 kids, 6 of Kennedy's 9 surviving children oppose his parole. Well, 6 of 9 oppose. What about the other 3? So the lawyers for the family expect them to oppose the release. No, it looks like it's going to happen. Gavin Newsom aside. Again, it raises the question of capital punishment. We see, at least according to the parole board, that people can be reformed. Sirhan, according to the parole board, was reformed in prison, and therefore should be allowed to, get out, I guess, right? But anyway, man, so we're going to find out what else. Let's go to markets. Ding, 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 bong, bong. We're open, and we're off. Looks like a kind of a flattish open. What time is it? We're 25 minutes into the session. NASDAQ is up 13. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 48, and the S&P 500 is down just 80.82, which is really nothing. Flat. Open on the big board, Apple down 37 cents, Amazon down 14, Google up 65 cents, Meta up $1.29, formerly Facebook. Rivian down $2.50 at 16.82. Again, still accumulate at this level. Tesla down $2.90. Must have been something on energy to have rocked these two companies. In the area of war, Lockheed Martin and Raytheon mixed. Lockheed Martin up 35 cents, Raytheon down 4 cents. The holiest of holy stocks, the vaccine stock, the vaccine that gives you myocarditis and keeps you safe from your enemies. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, mixed. Pfizer up slightly, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna down slightly. So I would call this a mixed open, slightly green. Everything just went green on Wall Street. Consumers keep feeling better about today and worse about tomorrow. I don't know what that means, man. That's jargon there. It's jargon, man. Bullshit. So thank you all for joining me. Marcus Conte reporting. And have a great day, man. Have a good time. I'm going to enjoy my birthday today. It's go outside, mostly sunny. And you know what I mean? Thank you all for joining me. I didn't have a chance to read everything. Janol is here. What's up, man? What's up? JJ Wolf, Jonte Takray is here. Andy Garcia, Liddy D. Martini. Weevil Girl in the house. All the wrenches are here. And Jim Gerard, my brother from a different mother. Chris Milk, how are you? He, ha, ha is here as well. And to the and to all the LARPers that are lurking, I love you, LARPers, I love you. Try to find a new strategy, right? You want to get my attention, say some things that are nice. The old days, LARPers they would come. LARPers are defined as they're unhappy people. They want attention. They're attention seekers. I want your attention, Conte. You better pay attention to me. I'm going to call you all kinds of names in your chat, and I'm going to make everybody miserable because you're a jerk off. And if you censor me, then you're a censor, and you're playing into the hands of the oligarchy. Just shut the fuck up. Shut up and listen, and try to be nice, rather than taking the path. We want to grow the channel. We want to grow as a presence, rather than chop it down. And think that somehow by chopping down somebody else, you're going to raise up yourself or some other cause. Why don't you try joining the cause? Why don't you try being a nice guy? Right? Come into the chat and blow kisses and give positive critique. And stop attacking the reporter. Stop attacking the talking head. It's not funny. It's not fun. It's not interesting. Only you're enjoying it. You're just a pig rolling around in the shit. Nobody wants to hear that shit. Nobody wants to hear it. So shower people with love, and I think you'll have a better experience in your life. People will open the door for you, and you'll become part of instead of outcast of. So thank you all for joining me. Marcus Conte reporting.